Hello guys, you all know that Bitcoin has been one of the best performing asset in the recent time. But what if I say that there is a stock that is related to Bitcoin that just destroyed the Bitcoin performance? In fact, it has a much better result. We can see directly from the chart how Bitcoin has had a perfect performance that is around 385% since 19 October. But now let's check this. If we compare Bitcoin to our company, our stock, that actually is Marathon Digital Holding, we can see that Bitcoin seems almost flat compared to our stock. In fact, since October, this stock made 1293% of gain. The company is absolutely correlated to Bitcoin, as we are going to see just in a while by doing the fundamental analysis of this company. So we are going to study the business, we are going to study the number of the company balance sheet, and then we are going to check if there is still possibility to invest in this kind of company, so if there is the opportunity to still gain some positive performance. So the company we are going to speak about in this video is Marathon Digital Holding. The ticker is MARA and is actually a Bitcoin miner company. Stay with me because now I'm going to explain everything. Even if you don't know about Bitcoin, about how does it work, don't worry, we will explain everything as we normally do with our fundamental analysis. And if you want to know more, you can check the link just above with the playlist with all fundamental analysis that I'm usually doing by myself or in collaboration with the international value investing team I'm working with. If you want to invest in cryptocurrency nowadays, you can invest, for example, if we take Bitcoin as example, in the asset itself, in this case Bitcoin. You can invest in something like an ETF that try to copy the performance of the asset, or in some company that is related to this asset. In this case we will speak about Marathon, but as you may know, another company such as Coinbase, now it's publicly traded, and some other out there. As we have seen in the previous chart, sometimes it's much better to invest in company, but now we want to understand if how the business of this company is working and if there is still a possibility to make some gain. Let's start by understanding how Bitcoin mining works. In this case, Bitcoin transactions are pulled together in a block and encrypted by a complex puzzle. So once the block is formed, miners compete to solve this complex puzzle, and once solved, the transaction need to be verified by all the network. At this time, the new block that has been verified can be attached to the chain that is already there, so that's why you have a blockchain, because you still adding some block and all together makes a chain. And for solving this complex puzzle, then miners are rewarded with Bitcoin itself. Nowadays, for each block that is solved, the reward is 6.25 Bitcoin. This number is not a fixed one, but is the number that time to time it's cut by half. And this is an important information that we will check later on. So in our case, Marathon is a mining company, so their job is to have this huge data center where Bitcoin are mined. We can understand that in this kind of business, the reward part is related mainly to the price of Bitcoin, that is our reward, but the expenses that we have, for sure we have price of miners that are our investment, then we have cost of electricity, and then we have expense for general managing of the company. And as we are a value investor, we want to analyze deeper the business to understand if management of the company is able to act positively in all those components. First of all, speaking about energy, we can see that Marathon made a strong partnership with Beowulf. This is a really important partnership because Beowulf Energy can manage 2.3 gigawatts of energy, totally speaking. Part of them are related to Marathon use for their job, and this partnership is really strong because Beowulf owns 6 million share in Marathon. It's what we call skin in the game. So the final price that Marathon is paying for electricity is $0.028 for kilowatt hour, and this parameter is really important because it's directly related to the cost of mining of one single Bitcoin, that in this case is equal to $4,541. So now you can easily understand how the company makes money, because Bitcoin price at this time is almost $50,000-$60,000 and the production cost is just $4,500. So after this really positive news about the cost of energy and the partnership, here we come with the first main risk related to this kind of investment. You can easily understand that okay, the price of electricity is fixed, but the price of Bitcoin is really unknown. So the profitability of the company is really related to the price of Bitcoin, and we all know how this price is volatile, even is nowadays is in the positive uptrend, but who knows how the price will be in 1 year or 2 years. So keep in mind this strong relation and keep in mind this risk factor that you have to consider before investing. But we can see as well the second positive partnership that the company has made, in this case with Bitmain. This company is the world leader in manufacturing the miners. So now we have understood that the miners, so this big computer, let's call, that makes our data center, are the core tool that the company use. So this partnership is absolutely an important one because everything is related to this kind of components. Specifically, S19 is the name of the miner itself, and you can see how many of them the company had to acquire in the time. And going back to the previous mail, we can see that the two partnerships are strongly related to the two main factors that the company can work on. So we can finally say that the management of the company is really focused on their business and they are acting in a really positive way according to me. So now that you know how does this business works, maybe you can ask yourself how many Bitcoin are left to be mined. So here there is the answer, and in fact we have 18.6 million that have already been mined and 2.3 million that left to be mined. So almost 89% of the total Bitcoin, that in total will be 21 million, has already been mined. Nowadays the old world network that is mining Bitcoin is able to mine 900 per day. So theoretically speaking, we need almost 6 years to mine the 2.3 million left. But actually, if we go back to this data that I asked you to remember, I said that this number is going to be cutted by half time to time. And because of this effect, then the last Bitcoin will be mined around 2130. So we need to wait 120 years to see the last Bitcoin mined. So coming back to nowadays, the company by end of March has been able to install and get working 1.4 exahash rate per second. Exahash rate is the calculation power of this kind of machine, and this calculation power is directly related to the number of the Bitcoin that the company is able to mine. Bitcoin. So nowadays, if we take in consideration a price of Bitcoin of around 56,000 and this calculation power, the company is able to have $5.5 million revenue per month. But actually, by the end of the year and starting of next year 2022, calculation power will be 11.8, much bigger than is today, and still considering the same price for Bitcoin, the revenue for the company will be around 46 million per month. So in a year the company will be able to make around 500,000 million starting from January 2022. So if we take in consideration this number and we compare the number with the market capitalization of the company that nowadays is almost 5 billion, we have a price to sales ratio starting from January 2022 that is around 7. And why I'm considering the price to sales for this company? Because normally in this kind of analysis we try to estimate the intrinsic value of the company, the intrinsic value today, and the value that the company could have next year or in 2 years. But in this case, as we have seen, the value of the company is really strongly related to the price of Bitcoin. So it's quite hard to understand which will be the intrinsic value of this company because we don't know which will be the price of Bitcoin in the future. So maybe the best ratio that we can consider nowadays is this price to sales that is around 7, and considering how fast is evolving this sector and how fast it's evolving the cryptocurrency, a ratio around 7 it's really low according to me. On top of it, even from the technical point of view, we can see that the price nowadays it's around a really low area, so the company could still rise their price, but everything depends on what happens on Bitcoin price. So finally, if you are bullish on Bitcoin price, maybe this kind of investment could be right for you, because as we have seen from the chart, this kind of company can emphasize your gain from the cryptocurrency investment. But if you think that cryptocurrency or Bitcoin price will go down in the future, for sure this kind of investment will be really a disaster. So the management it's working very well, the company is running perfectly, it's profitable at this time, and everything is great depending on Bitcoin price. If you want to see more value investing analysis, just check the link above. You will find a playlist with all analysis that we have already done. Don't forget to smash the like button to support our channel with YouTube algorithm, and subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content. And I'll meet you in the next video.